Hey y'all, hey, and welcome to the Sanctuary. I'm your guide, Mariah Miles, an ordained minister, marriage and family therapist, and a lifelong learner. I'm really passionate about understanding how family systems and our environment have shaped us and who we have become and are becoming, how our bodies carry these experiences with us. And so this podcast is really for anyone seeking to cultivate a deeper awareness of themselves and their emotions, right? Whether you're on a path of healing, looking for ways to enhance your well-being, or simply just really curious about mindfulness practices, this is for you. I got a little something for each of you, really, but this is for you. And I am immensely grateful to walk alongside you in this journey. It's like a parallel journey. As we heal each other, we heal ourselves. And I began this podcast really to accompany the journal I designed entitled Busy Minds, Peaceful Hearts, A Year of Mindful Reflections, which was created to help you connect more profoundly with yourself and your surroundings. And y'all, not just you, right? Like me too. I'm along for this ride. I'm offering it to my clients too, right? And you can find this journal on Amazon. And I think that it is something that you can do on your own, but it's also nice to have some support, right? We don't need to do everything by ourselves. And so each episode will weave in the monthly themes, provide, the practices and reflections. There's over 48 somatic practices in the journal. There's daily prompts, weekly insights, monthly insights. Just a place really for reflection, right? Encouraging that self-awareness and emotional well-being that's so important for our day-to-day, right? And we often forget to check in with ourselves. So throughout this podcast, expect to see a blend of those guided meditations, some breathwork exercises, and some inspiring stories from the community. Yeah, the community. That's you, y'all. So we'll dive into the journal's rich content and offer you tools to cultivate presence, joy, acceptance, and connection in your daily life, right? Because that's what I want. And I'm not sure, and I don't want to speak for you, but I feel that we all seek to have a sense of peace within our lives. And in this fast-paced world, the constant stimulation, the constant distractions, that can lead to such a heightened sense of stress and anxiety and depression, which can really overwhelm us. And it's so important to recognize how our busy minds affect our nervous systems. And as we tune in to our bodies and cultivate stillness, we can activate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is really promoting that relaxation and emotional balance. It's that peace, y'all. And so this deeper connection with ourselves fosters a peaceful heart, right? Because we have that inside of us, that innate wisdom. And so it just guides us towards that clarity and that resilience that lives there. And so although I encourage you to have your journal with you during this process, I do recognize that it may not be accessible for everyone. And I hope that this podcast bridges that gap and allows for you to still engage with the material. My hope for you along this journey is that you take what you need from these episodes and that you notice your thoughts, your feelings, your responses, whatever arises within. And what usually gets in the way of finding that contentment and peace, right? Can you tune in and pay attention? What gets in my way of finding contentment and peace? So what do you notice? Some of these practices may feel new to you, or perhaps you've been practicing for a while, so you feel pretty seasoned, and that's all good too. But maybe we bring to this practice with each other the sense of a beginner's mind. And so maybe we witness, just observe what is happening. Maybe we cultivate grace and self-compassion and just notice. Some people find it really difficult to tune in and just kind of tune into what they feel, and that's okay. Because sometimes people have had experiences that have made it unsafe for them to acknowledge their feelings, and that's important to name. And so just notice that. And like with all things, we just need to practice, right? And we also need to lean into our coping skills. What are the resources, the calming strategies that you already have? What are the things you lean into when you're feeling stressed? We need to create a toolkit. Sometimes when we're trying new things, that little thing called avoidance might kick in, right? Have you ever noticed that? Some avoidance? So just notice that. What does avoidance look like to you? No. For me, I might notice avoidance as automatic no. No, I'm not doing that. Right? So is that my intuition or is that my anxiety? This feels new. This feels uncertain, unsafe. I'm not doing that. Right? What's my body telling me if I can tune in? Right? So the more we notice, we can start to recognize what's happening with us. Also notice where else in your life avoidance kicks in. Is that a theme for you? I also want to recognize that if there is something that just doesn't resonate in your body, right? Like some of the practices require having a able body. Notice this too and make adjustments where needed. Never force yourself into something, to a practice that's not right for you. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Before starting a new practice, it's always good to check in with a physician, primary care doctor, right? This is your practice. And so while we explore valuable tools and insights here, please note that this podcast is not meant to be a substitute for therapy. And if you need resources for that, they're easily accessible. I want to offer a consideration. What is stillness? What does stillness look like? Maybe you use your imagination for this one. Maybe you lower your gaze or close your eyes and just notice whatever the first image is that pops up when I say the word stillness. Stillness can look so many different ways for everybody, right? It might look like walking in nature. And you might live in a city, and so nature might be a park. Nature might be the tree on the corner. Nature might be the plant in your house. Make it accessible for you. Nature might just be going outside, feeling the air on your face, on your skin, feeling the warmth of the sun if it's sunny. I know we're in winter season here in the States, and that season can look drastically different throughout the country. But just notice what is present for you. Stillness might look like just noticing the sensation beneath your feet, either when you're walking or when you're sitting. What are your feet touching, right? Stillness might be washing your hands, right? I think we do that many times a day. And so maybe you tune into the temperature of the water. Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it somewhere in between? What does the soap feel like in my hands, in my palm, in between my fingers? Or maybe stillness is a big hug from a loved one or a loved animal. So I ask, what brings you the stillness? Because the stillness sometimes does not come easy. Perhaps it's prayer, meditation. Maybe the stillness for you is reading. Maybe the stillness is chewing gum and really tuning in to what that feels like. Maybe it's drinking through a straw. So I invite you just to reflect and explore, how do you regulate your nervous system, right? How do you find that stillness? And so until next time, that invitation is there. Be curious about the things you reach for when you feel overwhelmed. What are the things you reach for when you feel overwhelmed to help you find that stillness, to help you find that calm? They may be helpful. They may not be helpful. They may be healthy. They may not be healthy. Just notice with grace and self-compassion in that beginner's mind. I had a professor who once said, we come into this world with these beautiful gifts, these gems that become covered with the layers of dirt from our experiences and interactions with life. And part of our process in this life is to reclaim them. Reclaim your gifts, reclaim your gem, dust off the dirt, make them shine again. And if we consider, our bodies have this innate wisdom, this beautiful ability to heal itself. And you know what? We heal best in community. Until then, peace, y'all.